Welcome to season 10, episode 19 of the MN Corner. He's Stephen Cook.
And he's still Brad Rothschild.
And now we're at war. Or are we not
at
war?
Is that what's going on? It's a special military
I
operation.
was told this is not a war. Yet I'm also being told that it's costing us $2 billion a day not to be at war with Iran.
You know, the Russians call the invasion of Ukraine a special military operation. I think we should call this a special military operation.
Well, what did they call the war in Korea? A police action?
Yes, it was a police action.
Yeah, I don't think this is even a police action. But first they're saying like, oh, there are no boots on the ground, so it's not an invasion. Now they're saying, well, we might be putting boots on the ground.
I'm having a hard time imagining that, to be honest with you.
I mean,
a lot of things that people told me weren't going to happen have happened the last 2.5 years. So
yeah, so it's a fair point.
I just want to say that I'm still smarting over this because I was told it was going to happen on Monday, March 1, and it happened on Saturday, February 28th. And I had a whole list of things I was supposed to do last weekend to get out of the way before the war started.
You didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I was busy from the time I got out of bed until all the way. I haven't stopped.
It was very inconsiderate of them. But that leads me to something that I wanted to bring up. Actually,
go ahead.
This is a good segue. I didn't expect this. But
away.
Thank you for teeing this up in such a wonderful way.
Go ahead.
I finally figured out what our grift is going to be.
Oh, give it to me, because I'm just tired. I need a grift.
Here it is.
Okay.
The prediction markets.
Oh my God. Let's start our own.
I mean, think about it. There are people who made shit tons of money on the prediction markets.
Yeah.
And
go ahead, keep going.
The prediction markets are calling Stephen to ask when we think the invasion.
Everything all right?
He's on the phone, and I'm going to keep talking.
Oh, okay, I'm in corner. So
this is funny. This
just
is
work
the
it
first
out.
Time we've ever had this.
Okay, bye.
And now we're back. Okay, it's all good. When the wife calls, you have to.
You gotta get it right.
Have to. Okay, so back to the prediction markets. There are potentially people on the inside where decisions are made.
Yeah, 100%.
Who are making money by placing bets as to when this attack was going to occur, and having insider knowledge, they parlayed that into cash. Okay. Now, here's my thought.
Okay, what are we doing?
I've been thinking about this for a while. You work in a pretty prestigious place, in a think tank that is involved with international affairs that I'm not going to name.
Okay.
You have access to world-renowned experts. And now we are going to leverage that access, and we're going to start placing large dollar bets.
In the prediction markets?
In the prediction markets. You and me. We're going to create, here we go. We're going to create an algorithm based on what we know and the context that we have. And we're going to start figuring this shit out for our own benefit. And that's really what I came on the podcast to say this week. And now I'm going to go back to my room, and I'm going to take a little rest, and I'm going to start counting the money that we are going to make in the prediction markets. So yes,
you're going to start counting it now?
Yeah. I'm going to start counting our money. I mean, that's what we do. You were off by a day, so that would have.
Well, no, it's supposed to be Monday.
Well, you were off by 2 days.
Yeah, day and a half.
And
it was based on.
We have to tweak the algorithm.
All right.
We're going to be using. It was based on.
No, it was based on. He said it at the Board of Peace.
The Board
of Peace meeting was February 19th. He said 10 days. Uh-huh. Then I talked to unnamed, and who were like, it's totally. They were also basing it on the Board of Peace. Now.
Okay, well, that person is no longer
these people were not.
That person is not a source of information for our prediction models. Sorry.
That was a person who was actually at the Board of Peace meeting.
Now,
who made a persuasive.
Now you mentioned the Board of Peace.
It was close, though.
Do you think with this special action...
Special military operation?
Special military operation, I don't know what you want to call it. is FIFA going to take away the
No,
peace
this is for
prize?
peace, man. Look, I'm completely cynical about this whole thing.
Well, I
And
wonder
there's
why.
like loads of questions. But the world is a better place without Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
I think there are very few rational people who would argue that this was a good regime, right? I
Well, I don't
said
know. Like, there's a
rational.
lot of people, like the Democrats have been really bad on messaging on this. I haven't heard a lot of Democrats say, I think they say, this is an illegal war. We weren't consulted. Oh, and by the way, yeah, Ali Khamenei was not a good guy.
Look, nobody is suggesting that he was, but there was no real reason to do this now, other than they could.
Let me build a scenario again, because this is not anything other than the fact that I just so hate hypocrisy.
Okay.
Let me give you a scenario. So there's the president of the United States.
There is.
And a close ally of the United States is encouraging the president to take military action against a country in the Middle East. And the president makes the case, or the case is made to the president, that this would protect people under siege from the regime. And then the president goes ahead at the urging of the ally to take action and the goals are somewhat unclear, et cetera.
Yeah.
What did I just describe?
You tell me, because clearly I'm going to walk into something. You're going to be like, no, I'm talking about something else.
I'm talking about Libya.
Okay.
President Obama bombed Libya for 7 months. There was no declaration of war. It was to protect the people of Benghazi. It was regime change, but it wasn't regime change. This was all at the behest of the British government and the French, who worked really hard to lobby the president to do this. And he went ahead and did it. I think Trump was much more enthusiastic about Iran, though, than Obama was about Libya. The reports would suggest that he was all in on this, but I don't know how he flipped, because he turned the Israelis around in June.
Well, I thought in June we had obliterated the nuclear.
Yeah. But remember, they were the Israelis had gotten hit hard in the last Iranian salvo after Trump had said ceasefire, and the Israelis were like, "That's it, we're going to go kill Khamenei." And Trump, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and he turned the Israelis around. And so I don't know how we got from there to, okay, let's kill Ali Khamenei and find someone else, but that's where we are.
And the fact that we don't know what got us to that decision point leaves room for speculation and conspiracy theories, even things like, well, both the leaders.
The Jews did it.
Well, we can go there in a second, but the Jews, but both.
OOZ.
But both Netanyahu and Trump benefit from distracting everybody from other things that are going on.
Yeah, I've been hearing the wag the dog thing. The tail, wag the dog. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, wag the dog. But again, when there's no real clear explanation, then there is more room for these things.
And so the way I've tried to position myself publicly on this, obviously, is what I've always tried to do. There are people running around, everything's great, this is the most wonderful thing in the world, and then there's the sky is falling and so on and so forth. And I've tried to provide dispassionate analysis of the situation. I think my job, and a lot of people like me's job, would be better in providing that dispassionate analysis, so you don't have the conspiracy theories or everything's fine or the world is coming to an end, is if the president of the United States would do a primetime address and say, this is how we got to the point. But he's not going to do it because it runs counter to everything he learned from Roy Cohn. Right. I keep telling people who ask me, they say, how is it going to end? And I was like, it's going to end when the president just decides it's going to either gas prices go up and that hurts him,
or he's going to lose interest.
Bad. and wherever American forces are at that
Yeah.
moment, whatever they're doing, that was our objective, and
I
it was
feel like
fantastic, and that was the objective all along.
I
et
feel
cetera,
like
et cetera.
that's true, and then he could take credit for ending another war.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So there's no real way, and that's why he laid out at the beginning 4 very specific objectives. He didn't lay out a strategy for getting to those objectives, but then they've been slippery ever since because he doesn't want to be pinned down.
But it also felt like when he was sort of workshopping his ideas with different media outlets in the immediate aftermath of the bombing, like that he doesn't really have a clear idea in his own mind why he's doing this. And I feel like that's really plausible. Like that he really doesn't have not only an end game, but an actual reason for doing it other than he could.
Right. Well, I think that there's part of that is really true. I mean, look, Operation Midnight Hammer showed the extraordinary sophistication of the U.S. military and that they could operate with the Israelis. Great. Then you have Venezuela. No one was killed.
Yeah.
Maduro's in Brooklyn. That's from his perspective a wild success. And okay, we can do this. And all right.
But that speaks to a larger point. And, we have been up until, I don't know, last weekend, living in a reality that is, at least internationally, rules-based in theory. In theory, there are rules. Now, what we have seen in the last couple of months, and you just mentioned it, we took out a sitting president of a foreign country.
Right.
And arrested him and extradited him to the United States. And now we launched an attack to assassinate the leader of another country and the entire leadership of the other country.
I don't know whether that was the United States.
Okay.
So what
we participated in the operation.
I see through all of this truly unprecedented. Unprecedented is a word that's used too much, but a truly unprecedented cooperation between Israel and the United States. During Hegseth's Team America speech, he called out, he's like this capable ally and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Throughout all of that and all of the everybody's saying, oh, it's, look at this, such cooperation, blah, 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 that there's actually 2 different things that are going on here.
Simultaneously.
That the president is looking for his Iranian Delcy Rodriguez, and the Israelis are we're not going to let them have a Delcy Rodriguez.
By killing everybody in sight.
Khamenei was a marked man anyway. But I think that there is a divergence between the United States and Israel. The Israelis really want there to be regime change. I think Trump's willing to have leadership change.
I think
and make a deal with whichever member of the IRGC.
Because he doesn't care. Because fundamentally, he does not care.
Right, and so I think that when it comes to that, it's going to be an issue. Are the Americans going to stop the Israelis? Not, that is going to be.
But it feels like
critical.
But it feels like we're just, and maybe Israel is guilty of this too, just 2 sovereign nations that are essentially going rogue on the international.
I'll say this about Israel. I mean, Benjamin Netanyahu said on October 8th, 2023, we're going to change the Middle East. The guy has giant eggs. They're doing it.
But just because he said it doesn't mean that it's a great idea for Israel to be bombing every single country in the region. And
here's what I have to say that. Yeah, the world is a better place without Khamenei. It's better without Sinwar. It's better without Nasrallah. And having spoken to some people, and I'm not saying that this is a universally held view. Yeah. Some people around the region, they're like, if the Israelis want to womp on the IRGC and the Houthis, that's okay with us.
I hear you, but it just feels like the international system is undergoing a strain that I don't know.
Well, that 100%.
We're going to recover from anytime soon.
You started talking about the rules-based order.
Yeah.
And so I got this question yesterday at an event. And what I said was, that order is dead. It doesn't exist any longer. Let's stop talking about it. Does not exist. The new order, we don't know what it is. It's still in the process of happening. And so all the things that are happening, like the things that the president has done, Venezuela, threatening allies with tariffs, what the Israelis have done, what the
Threatening
Russians
allies
are
with
doing,
invasion. How about
with
that?
the
What about
EU, with the Russian invasion of Ukraine,
no,
what the
no,
EU is
Greenland?
doing.
I'm talking about threatening countries that
Right.
we're allied
All of
with.
these things, this is this iterative,
Yeah,
interactive process that is going to
yeah,
lead to some sort of
right.
new order,
We don't know
but
what
we
it
don't know
is.
what it looks like.
Yeah, it's
It's not
emerging.
like five guys are going to get down and like, oh, let's write down what the new order is.
No, it's just essentially right now it's the strong dictating terms.
And it could take decades for us to figure
Could.
this whole thing out. And
Yeah,
so,
we're
and
gonna
it's
look.
and that means it's very dangerous. Again,
It is
someone
dangerous.
else in the Middle East in a position of authority said, this is clearly a period of experimentation. And I was like,
I mean, that sounds, antiseptic, but at the same time, this period of experimentation could cost hundreds of thousands of
well,
lives.
right. That's why I
If
was
not
like,
millions, if not
that's like
millions.
why my eyes popped
Yeah,
out of my head.
nothing good happens when you experiment like this. Well, so maybe
I
some
mean,
good things, but a lot of bad things could happen too.
yeah. I mean, it's the kind of thing I've said this to Lauren over and over again for years. And now, like the things that I thought in my 30s that I would worry about in my 50s, I'm worrying about. And then there's all these other things.
The
It's like, it's not fair.
things, yeah.
It's not fair. I have to worry about all these other things that I didn't think I was going to have to worry about.
Well, sorry
Anyway.
that this has impacted you in a negative way.
It has impacted me.
Yeah. Now, a couple other things about this war that I'm sure did not go unnoticed by you. Did you see where some U.S. military leaders were telling their own troops that this is like a biblical battle of Armageddon? That doesn't strike me as a good thing to be saying.
No, this is a couple of friends of mine from Vassar messaged me about this.
Yeah.
And I was saying, this is not something entirely new in the military. Like, there's been this increasing politicization and the breakdown of norms within. I think it started with the response to President Obama's presidency. To be honest with you, I mean, the military also reflects society. So evangelical is very, very strong in our society. Very, very strong. So there are evangelicals who serve in the military, and then there was a reaction, quite obviously, to President Obama, and then Trump cynically used this and politicized the military further during his first term.
Yeah.
Then you had Biden, who tried to correct some of this stuff, but then had to deal with the tail end of the pandemic, where vaccines were coming online, and the mandates within the military for the vaccines, which previously were like not at all controversial. Not at all controversial. Right. Like, I have heard, like, on deployments, they get off the plane and it's like, take off you get a vaccine.
We get a bunch, I'm sure.
And so this has been coming for a while. And previously you'd have like snippets of this. You'd see it and people are like, oh my God.
This is full on.
It didn't really surprise me at all.
Well, when it kind of like a little alarm bell in my head went off, and I was reminded
that we were fighting the religious fanatics.
That we are the religious fanatics. Like, we are like, this reminded me of the Iran-Iraq war, but now like we're Iran in the scenario.
I'm not sure about that, but yeah.
I mean, there are elements of it. I mean, it's not an apples-to-apples comparison, Stephen, but still.
I'm looking forward to getting back to Israel at some point, because this is all happening in conjunction with Purim.
Oh my God.
So like, how are people responding to that, especially among religious Jews?
Well, let me give you. I can actually tell you.
You went to synagogue. Did you spin the grogger?
I spun the grogger, but I spoke to one of my friends yesterday who is not religious.
Yeah.
In Israel.
Yeah.
And he was like, "It's a Purim miracle." He literally said, "This is a Purim miracle. That it's not an accident that we're going after the Persians on this holiday, right?"
I mean, there is like there is a certain poetry to it, but at the same time, like, it's not so much that I just wonder how it's being like, is this, look, the victory in June 1967 is seen in this kind of, among a certain community in Messianic terms. Sure. Is the same kind of thing happening now? It's very interesting, especially for those who are interested in Israel's domestic political trajectory.
Yeah.
Is this yet another thing that's going to be framed that way?
Look,
I suspect probably it will.
I think it will, because if you are already susceptible to those types of
right.
thoughts, then anything in line with that will just
and there
confirm
has
it.
been like a renewal of interest in religion, even among secular people in Israel.
Since October 7th.
Since October 7th. Right. And the American Jewish community. I mean, like there is something called an October 8 Jew.
Yeah, that's true.
And even friends of mine who were more religious than your average like American Jew, like are now,
more religious
than they were
interesting
before and stuff like that. So that is super. Yeah, I got in late last night and I hadn't eaten dinner because I'd been in Nashville and was full, and but I was hungry. Like I was like, I haven't eaten since noon Nashville time, and now it's 11:30 at night, and I snagged the last apricot Hamantaschen.
There you go.
And I was like, fuck yeah, Khamenei is dead. Purim, baby.
That's the actual.
I was like, God, I'm fucking hungry. What is within reach of my hand?
That's the actual Purim miracle, that there was one Hamantaschen left.
One Hamantaschen left.
And it lasted 8 whole days. It did not last until the
weekend. We didn't actually have them on Purim. I think of them the day after, because Lauren went to get them somewhere and she said they look crappy, so she went somewhere else the next day.
The most Jewish thing ever is to buy Hamantaschen the day after Purim, because they're on sale.
I forgot to ask her if it was 50% off.
Yeah, because they're on sale.
Wait, there was another point I was going to make.
Go on.
About the war. I don't know. I just think it's interesting. Like, so many, like, there are a lot of people who are opposed of all ages, right? I mean, I think when I was on the call-in program, Washington Journal last weekend, I'd say it was running like 10-1 opposed. But I don't think, and then, people saying, oh, this Iranian war on America for the past 47 years, it's all talking points and so on and so on. It's definitely talking points. It's definitely about packaging stuff. But I don't know. I'm not that cynical about it. Like, I remember the hostage crisis. I remember the bombing of the Marine barracks. I remember, there's been a lot of stuff. So anyway.
Yeah, but this was not an imminent threat, and for anybody to claim otherwise.
So once again, like history, like I felt like I was transported back to 2002, because they were talking about a preemptive war. He said imminent. He said imminent. I was like, that's what George W. Bush would say. And then we had that political argument about the meaning of imminent in 2002. Like everybody in Washington was arguing over what imminent meant. And I remember when I got, it was like the first 6 months I was working, and we did a debate. I did a debate with my colleague Max Boot, and he's like a military guy, like a military historian. And it was, by this time we were occupying Iraq and we were relitigating the whole thing. And he called it a preemptive war. And I remember, and it was this back and forth on the website. And I remember, and each day there was another installment. So he left it off with about this preemptive war. And I was like, well, Mr. Military Historian, I actually don't think I think you're confusing preemptive with preventive, and explained the whole thing. And that was like, he got like
angry,
bent out of shape. The next post was tart.
Yeah,
it was tart.
Not good. I think Tom.
So now we're back at this. Like, is it preemptive? Is it imminent? What does that even mean?
I think Tom Cotton said that this has been imminent for 47 years.
I mean, that's just like a redefinition of imminent.
I mean,
it's like
but if we're redefining words, then they lose all meaning.
Well, it's like Tom Cotton. He gets mad that they've redefined genocide, which they have. And then you can't. If you don't like that, you can't redefine imminent.
Well, these guys are not always consistent, that's for sure. But on a separate note, and on a relatively happy note, Kristi Noem got shit canned this week. You have to be happy about that. I mean, after her
so many crazy things.
After her performance on the Hill, I mean,
they showed her the plane. The picture. Do you recognize this? Like 20 seats, a bar, and a bedroom.
Bro, her husband was sitting in the row behind her as she was testifying, and they were talking to her about her alleged affair.
Alleged. They're like shagging on the plane.
With
it's not alleged.
Lewandowski. But the husband is sitting right there.
I know. So mortified. So terrible. And then the other thing is, I saw the pictures of her before she became magnified.
Did you see? Yeah, did you see the wedding shot of the two of them?
I mean,
she was like blonde.
A completely different person.
She was blonde.
And just totally different. I made the remark yesterday. It's like Michael Jackson off the wall.
Yeah. Versus,
and then Michael Jackson right before he died. Like, that's how big the difference is.
Yeah, it's pretty significant.
I mean,
I was thinking about this after she lost her job unceremoniously, and
but she still has a job.
Well, she has. What is she, like the human shield?
Special envoy to Shield of America.
Shield of America.
I was with one of my colleagues. I'm like, does she get a plane?
I mean, if it doesn't come with a plane, then she's like,
oh, then it must be over with Lewandowski.
But it's interesting because when she was on the Hill, she was talking about, or they were grilling her about this contract, the no bid contract for like video services, and just like the grift,
man,
is unreal.
And
I started thinking about this. Like,
you could do that.
I could. I mean, the video thing is there.
Totally.
Bear with me for a second. So not only are these people just really noxious, just like horrible people, but they're all just like stealing. It's not just,
and they're open about it,
and it's just like right in front of you. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be nice if there was just one person who wasn't stealing? And you know what? There is somebody who's not stealing.
Who's that?
Stephen Miller.
That's Stephen right.
Miller
is not. That's right.
Does what he does for the love of the game.
He believes it.
He does it for the love of the game.
He believes it. That's right. Oh my God!
He
I hadn't even thought about that.
He
never hear about Stephen Miller on the take.
You don't.
He's not down with the Whitcock Sons.
No.
This is what he wants.
All he wants in the whole world is to make brown and black people suffer. He's not interested in lining his pockets. He doesn't care about anything else.
100% right.
And I'm like, we have finally found the one person who he's incorruptible.
Because he's a true believing fascist.
Exactly. All he cares about is making people's lives miserable and potentially killing them, rounding them up.
Oh my God.
Them. Yeah.
It's so true.
Yep.
Because I was like, there is no one. But yes, you're right. Of course, Stephen Miller.
So kudos to Stephen Miller. Again, he just does it for the love of the game.
The love of the game.
Anyway.
Insanity.
Anyway, so now I want to pivot even further.
We're pivoting.
Now I'm going to talk.
No more Kristi Noem?
No, we're taking it down to the micro.
Oh wait, one more thing about Kristi Noem.
Yeah, go on.
So her designated successor, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen,
Mark Wayne, which is one word.
One word, Mark Wayne Mullen, MMA fighter. So he's led people to believe that he had military service. Not true. Apparently, he was playing Rambo with a bunch of ex-military guys trying to exfiltrate people from Afghanistan, and made a giant pain in the ass of himself in the process of doing this.
So by osmosis, he's now got a military.
Well, then they called him out on it. And he was like, well, I didn't say I was actually in the military. I said I worked with these guys. And then they came out that he was
You know what? Nothing is disqualifying anymore, so it doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter.
Bernie Sanders had to separate him and some guy from some union. They were going to fight it out in some hearing room on Capitol Hill.
Can you imagine?
Bernie's like, you are a U.S. Senator. Sit down. You're a U.S. Senator.
That's pretty good.
Join my campaign. $27.
$18.
$27.
All right.
Yeah. All right. I'm sorry.
So,
I interrupted you.
So this is again, we're now going to take it down to the micro level, not the macro. We did the macro. Now we're going to talk personal. So Michelle went to visit Jordan this weekend.
Okay.
He moved into a new apartment and she's helping him out.
Okay.
Talia went to visit her friends for the weekend.
Okay.
So Michelle was like, oh my God, I'm so worried about you. Like, what are you going to do? I'm like, nothing. Like,
if that happened to me,
the
only thing I would do is lie on the couch and walk the dog. That's the only two things I would do.
She's like, I'm worried. She's like, well, why don't you go out with so-and-so and so-and-so? I'm like, no. Like, I don't want to. She's like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, I will be just fine.
Just text her and be like, Steven is so jealous.
Like, I am going to be okay.
I'm
And you
so
know what?
jealous, man.
It is everything that I had imagined it would be.
I got the greatest weekend ever.
She's like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, nothing. Nothing. I'll tell you what I did last night. You ready?
Yeah, lay it on me.
Took a
Get a
walk
slice.
uptown.
Yeah.
Towards the Columbia area, trying to decide what I was going to do for the evening after my walk. Decided to drop in at Sal and Carmine's Pizza on the way.
That's what I'm talking about.
Brought it home. Watched a couple of games on TV.
That is a high quality Friday night. That is A+ Friday night for me.
Watched some Knicks. Watched some college basketball.
And the Knicks won.
And I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to bed now.
What time is it?
8:30? No, I was just kidding. It was not late, though.
Was it like 10?
It was like probably close to 11 maybe by the time I was like, well, I was watching like Miami of Ohio against Ohio University. I'm like, okay, this game is
Dude, I was stuck at the Nashville airport. For no reason, but whatever. I'm jealous.
So it's everything that I had hoped it would be.
All right, well, look, I don't want to interrupt any more of this. We got to get out.
Yeah, I'm like, well, what else are you doing this weekend? I'm like, well, we're going to do the podcast.
Man.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's New York. And it's also you. Like, you don't even have dry cleaning. And if you did, they would come to you.
True. I don't need
to. Like, there's no picking up dry cleaning. You don't drive your car enough to get it washed. I mean, like...
True.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's no like, I'm going to get my car washed this weekend.
Right. You don't have to like clean out the porch or the garage. Like there's none of that shit.
Yeah. But you know what? I am actually going to go out to dinner tonight. I'm going with my brother.
Okay. All right.
I'm taking him to Abu Qir.
Okay. Oh, Abu Qir. Yeah.
Nice. He's never been there. And he's like, do we need to make a reservation? I'm like, no. I'm like, dude, this is not a reservation kind of place.
just study your fish. Think about what fish you want grilled fresh.
Exactly. And it's just going to be good.
Nice.
I'm like, yeah, this will be nice. It'll just be the two of us. We'll go out, Then awesome. I'll come back and watch Duke UNC. And then.
Oh, yeah.
Living the dream.
I have to start getting engaged in NCAA basketball.
Now that you're going to be a Kentucky Wildcat.
Oosh. It's not official. I mean, it's official, but not official. Like the announcement.
Sorry.
The big reveal hasn't been made
Sorry.
yet.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. Yes, but yes. Yes. I've been following the Wildcats on ESPN now. I picked out my swag.
It's nice to have a team. I mean, you went to Vassar. I went to Emory. There's no sports really. And now you're going to see...
I know.
It's a total game changer.
I'm super excited.
It's literally a game changer. It's literally a game changer. Yeah. Super excited.
All right.
On that happy note, I am going to go and hang out in my living room for a while.
You're going to go have a nap. Nice. All right.
All right.
I'll talk to you later.
We're out.
We're out.